What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I have a gigantic rumor. Take it with also a gigantic pinch of salt, hand of salt, because we have a Sly Cooper rumor here that's quite incredible and quite something, I guess, if it's actually true. So this comes from Rythian on Twitter. Now, I've heard of this guy before. I've actually been sent his stuff a couple times before, and I really don't know what to make of this guy. This is definitely one of those up in the air. I just don't have enough info. If you guys have heard of him and feel confident in him or feel not confident, whatever, you can let me know. It seems like he's gotten a couple things right in the past, but he's also gotten things wrong. He's talked a lot about Marvel games with Sony, that there's like 10 plus Marvel games in the works at Sony right now. So there's definitely things that are up in the air as well. He could be right on, but instead of spending all this time talking about him, let's not be selfish to him. Let's do this Sly Cooper rumor. So he says, "So Sly Cooper, what I know. Fully playable in VR. Pixel Opus isn't the developer. Sanzaru Games isn't the developer. Will release before May of 2023. Will continue Thieves in Time's timeline. What I don't know, who's developing it, and the TV show was canceled, or that he doesn't know that. Furthermore, my theory of Jak and Daxter plus Sly and the gang appearing in Ratchet via Rifts was meant to be a comeback announcement of both series. Sony then killed the idea, put a hold on plans for Jak and Daxter for the time being, and continued with Sly Cooper." So, all right. Let's talk about a couple things. Number one, let's just jump to number one. Number one, I want more than anything the May 2023 thing to be right. If there's anything I will take from this man and claim as, like, if anything that we got, if we could only have one thing and we, that's it, this would be the one. Can we get it before May of 2023? The rest of it is so shaky. So he knows for a fact 2 developers are not making it. And let's just go through that for a second, because the Pixel Opus one is the one that many leakers do think is. So, again, I'm not going to call him out. I'm not going to say he's wrong until we know. Then we'll know fully. This is a thing, and this is actually kind of the joy of this, and what I take great joy in, is for something as specific as what he said, he can either be right or wrong. And I know that sounds stupid, but like sometimes people are too ambiguous, right? There's leakers that kind of leave things up in the air, and then when things don't happen, they'll say, "Oh, well, so and so and so," they'll try to wiggle their way out of it. Is basically what I'm saying, right? You find ways out of it. When you say for a fact that it's not these 2, and then if it becomes one of these 2 that's making it, you are full of garbage, right? That's just the way it is, because guess what? You're not shifting developers midway through the game unless your game is in massive trouble, right? There's just no way of getting yourself out of that if you're wrong. So, again, right now, we just take it with a grain of salt. If you want to believe it, fine. If you don't, also fine. But we will know definitively whenever this game is announced, which I do think will be September. We will know for sure, all right? The fully playable in VR, that scares me, and it also doesn't scare me. I like VR, like, generally. I have a couple VRs. I have the PlayStation VR. I will, whatever you want to say, I will get the PSVR 2. The thing, I guess, that scares me with it, follow me along, is that I want it to be a full experience, right? If it's like an 8 to 10 hour Sly Cooper game built from the ground up, this belongs with Sly 1 through 3. These are legendary games. Can you make that and also make it VR? The answer so far for VR games for PS4, I'd very heavily argue that you wouldn't do that. I'm not saying there's not good VR games. There absolutely is. But games, unless you're talking about like Resident Evil, I guess Resident Evil's a pretty good exception. I'm sure you can find a couple exceptions. It's a worry. It's not a definitive thing. It's not a for sure thing. But my worry is if you make it like a VR, just the fact that you may be able to play the whole thing in VR, to me, what if it's only like a 2, 3, 4 hour thing? It's VR is like the first thing in its mind, like it's made to be VR. It's not meant to be a video game in a legendary franchise, bringing back a legendary character, right, that we all know and love and we want back. I guess I guess my question would be, where are their priorities? And it's not definitive. It's just something that I would worry about. So that one is kind of up and down. The Pixel Opus one is just funny because that's what everybody says is the developer. So the fact that he says it's not is like, all right, so is it Sumo Digital? Because that was my original guess, but everybody said eventually that that's not going to be the case. So, okay, Sanzaru, that doesn't take a genius to figure out. Sanzaru has moved on. They're bought, I believe, right? Or they're bought, or they're working on other things. There's no way they're doing it. Well, let me go. The last two are also very interesting, I guess, in a funny way. Look, again, if there's anything I want is that this game releases as soon as possible. I'm not demanding it. I'm just saying, of course, would I want to play Sly Cooper tomorrow? Heck yeah. You know what I mean? But the rumor that we have is that the game started development in the, follow me through. The game started development in the summer of 2021. So if the game does release, say, April of 2023, it wouldn't have even been in development for 2 years. So again, would that make sense if it's just a VR, almost like a tech demo? They're trying to bring back Sly, but it's like a 3-4 hour experience. It's really not too much of a big deal. Would those two things line up? Yes. So actually there is a way around it. But again, if we're talking like an 8, 10, 12-hour game, a return to form for Sly Cooper, right? Built from the ground up. You worked on it for less than 2 years. That sounds like you're rushing. And also, well, again, we don't know the developer. Like, is it a huge team? Is it a small team? Because a small team making a sizable game like Sly in a year and a half is actually kind of insane and doesn't actually happen. So, again, I call a little... There's some BS maybe sniffing around in this tweet. We'll continue Thieves in Time's timeline. Now, this one's a tough one because inherently I want the next Sly game to continue. I fully understand, and maybe it is best for the franchise to, if you do like a soft reboot, that's fine, as long as you have the original voice actors coming back. That's cool. I don't see anything necessarily wrong with that. If you're gonna jump straight from Sly 3, that could also be an idea. Like basically forget 4 ever happened. I mean, it's kind of a rarity that happens, but like it would work. It would make sense within the fandom. It would make sense within the game. So I could see that happening. Again, if you just followed 4 and you got him out of the predicament that we left him in at the end of 4, I don't think there's too much of an issue. It's just, again, what I've seen the most online, and I don't know if they even care what people say, think online. It seems like people obviously don't like the ending of 4. Maybe they would just want to move on from 4. So like to have it be the timeline of 4, 4 finishes and 5 starts, that's a tough one as well. So I really, and then they don't know who is developing it and if the TV show was canceled or not. Though the TV show is interesting, right? Because we talked about the TV show. There was a rumor a couple months ago that the TV show's like back on. So that's interesting, but he could have just taken that from somebody else. And then who's developing it? You know who it's not, but you don't know who it is. I always find those kind of things funny. Again, I mean, I know for a fact he's gotten things right, and I know for a fact he's gotten things wrong. And I also know some pretty huge things that he has said that hasn't happened yet, which doesn't mean he's wrong. It just means he could be wrong. But it also could mean it also can mean, I guess, he could be right. So this guy is a very 50-50 coin flip for me. Again, I don't pay too much attention to him in general. If you're at personal opinion, right? And I think you guys deserve that. And I'm gonna be flat out honest with you, as I always am. If I had to take a stab at it, I would say I don't believe this. It's insane. It's a crazy rumor. I'm interested in it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, well, this has to be a video. I have to tweet it. I have to make a big deal out of it. All of that stuff. But again, some of these things I want to happen, but some of them I'm just kind of confused on. Again, I don't know. Everybody kind of knows, not knows, I guess. Everybody says who the developer is, and then he comes out to say, hey, that developer, that Special Nick. By the way, Special Nick is the one who broke the news of Sly 5, and he's the one, I believe, who first said it's Pixel Opus, right? And now he says it's not. So who do you trust? This guy, Raytheon, or Special Nick? I guess that's up to you. I personally trust Special Nick more. The fully playable in VR, while that's cool, and trust me, I always have wanted to be in the Sly Cooper universe, like a first person. I just get worried about priorities. And then releasing before May 2023, yes, it sounds great. I mean, people even tweeted to me like before May 2023, yes, and I responded back and said, yeah, that's what I want. While I like stand by those statements, if you think about it though, it's like, well, wait a second, unless they started earlier than we were told, and I guess unless Special Nick has been wrong about a lot of this stuff, then that's not really possible. Like I could very easily see the game being announced this September and then come out maybe next winter or even the beginning of 2024. That's kind of been my mentality. I don't know. Of course, I want it earlier than sooner rather than later. But they wouldn't even have worked on it for 2 full years in full production. That doesn't seem like a lot of time to make a Sly Cooper game. I don't know. So let me know what you think. We'll see. Like the months are falling very quickly in 2022. So we're gonna get to September fast. We'll know our answers. And again, once we know the developer, if it is not those two, then he may be right on all of the stuff he said. If it is one of those two, I discredit him completely, okay? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you guys on the next video.